Today we're going to be looking at Tempus Talent, and like all Tempus installations, it's made up of a combination of applications of your choice. Looking at the administration area, you can see all the applications that Tempus offers, and in the case of Tempus Talent, this includes certificates, the learning management system, personal development planning, and the training management system for live events. Tempus Talent also comes with a service desk where you can report any questions or issues back to the technical team directly. Tempus Talent is more than just a virtual learning environment. Using Tempus, a development framework can be created specifically for your organisation. The framework provides managers with guidance when setting objectives for their teams. This includes creating competency categories which reflect the business objectives, creating methods of development which the organisation is willing to fund and support, such as attending seminars, going on live events, using e-learning and more. Creating specific areas for development, defining what resources are available, perhaps it's mentoring, maybe there's a library, maybe there's a coaching program. Defining the competencies that the organisation particularly wants to nurture. Competencies are made up of skills, and there can be more than one skill to a competency, and those skills are then assigned to courses. So as an employee completes training, they accumulate skills and therefore build their competency profile. But all skills aren't the same. I may be adequate at using Microsoft Excel, or I might be an expert able to teach others. So we can also define mastery levels. And furthermore, we can set qualifications into the system so that any employee that joins the organisation with pre-existing qualifications, perhaps degree, HND, etc., or accumulates awards through third-party organisations whilst working for you, that information is also captured and goes into the talent profile. All of this can be defined for your organisation to tailor the development framework specifically to your needs. And of course, there is a plethora of reports, so you can search the organisation for skills, you can see which activities have been set, which ones are completed, which development activities are outstanding. Okay, so now let's look at this in practice. I've logged in using the ID of an employee, Chaka Cook. And the first thing you'll see is that we've landed a visual dashboard, which is telling Chaka quite a lot of information. It gives us instant status, and I'll come back to that later in this presentation. But let's have a look at continue the story of personal development planning. So Chaka also has her own personal menu. You'll see it's somewhat different because she's a user and it's permission driven. She also has PDP, so I'm going to go into PDP, personal development planning, and I'm going to look at her plan. Okay, so what we've got here is a list of development activities, learning objectives that have been set by Chaka with her manager. And she's got two areas of personal development that have been set for her. One to develop her skills in the area of stock management, and the other in team management. Her manager is Rick Risk, who set these objectives with her, and they could simply go in and add and create more learning objectives as part of her appraisal or periodic review. Down the bottom here, let's look at the team management. You can see when it was due to be done, the status, so there are 3 activities, how many have been completed. The PDP, personal development planning, is completely in favour with continuous personal development, so it is a CPD system for anyone that's going through professional development. We can see whether the activity has been completed by Chaka and that she's done a reflection, and whether therefore it's waiting for a review by our manager. we can create new activities for each learning objective. So let's think about that. We've set a learning objective which is to improve team management, and for that there are 3 different activities that have been defined. So with our manager, it's been decided that to improve her skills in this area, then she should concentrate on learning about feedback, goal setting, and applying management skills application. So we've got again a definition, when it was created, when it's due, whether the reflection's been done, whether it's been completed and signed off, when it was last updated, and we've also got some action buttons along here. So I'm going to view feedback, and here we can see the definition of what that looks like, and we can complete reflection and update the activity at any point. Once the reflection is done, a email is sent to Chaka's manager, and a reminder is set into the notifications bar to say that the activity is completed, and the manager needs to review it, give feedback, and sign it off, all of which is done online and can be therefore done remotely. Coming back to the list, we've got a button here which says print, and that brings up a document, a PDF, which is a complete development plan for this employee, breaking down all the activities, what skills they are going to obtain, what mastery level they are aiming for, and whether they've been signed off as completed or not. The manager has a dashboard where they can see the status of all their team, all of their objectives, and whether they have any reviews to complete. I've returned to the dashboard of Chaka Cook. You can see that there is an event in the My Events area. That's a live event that's going to be held on the 27th of September. In this case, it's a budget planning Zoom meeting. I can select that and find out more details about that particular event. I can also look at the online course catalogue, which is showing the courses that are available for enrolment. Each course is created in the system and defined by the administrator. A full cost structure can be set up: cost of a trainer, cost of a room, cost of equipment. So a price matrix can be created, which then can be used to track expenditure or for cross-charging purposes. The trainer themselves need to have the right skill set, and so we can identify which trainers are able to deliver which courses, and the trainer can be an internal employee or an external supplier, and we can also define whether they are able to deliver it in different languages. Each course can also be assigned to an awarding body, so if there is an external certification, and the awarding body details can be registered, and alerts are given should the certification with that awarding body be due to expire. So looking at the course, I can see that there's a course description, so I can understand what it is, what topics are going to be covered, who should attend the course, what benefits there are of attending, what skills will be accumulated should I be successful, whether this contributes towards a larger qualification, and whether there are any prerequisites need to be completed prior to enrolment. Looking at the event itself, I can now see that there are a series of live events, courses that are available to me, what dates, which location, who's going to be the trainer, and whether there's any capacity on that particular event. And I can also see if there's a price. If I want to attend, then I can select apply now, and if manager approval has been enabled, that will send an email to the manager and also put the request into their dashboard, and the manager can then decide whether to approve the attendance or deny it, and if they wish to deny it, they can give a reason as to why on this occasion they are turning down that request. And we can see a summary of the applications that Chaka has made. So she's got one that she's applied for which is pending, she had others that she has had approved, and another one here that was denied. Here we can see there's a widget called My Learning Status. That's showing the e-learning courses that have been assigned to Chaka, and she's completed 4 out of 5 and has 1 in progress. Here are the certificates that she has already accumulated, and you can see here a colour-coded traffic light system which shows the number of days remaining on her certificate. So they count down to the expiry, and the colour changes as the expiry date approaches. Automatic refresher emails are sent to the employee to say to remind them that they need to refresh their certification and do their course again, and they get 4 reminders before they finally expire. Managers can also see that this is occurring, where they would get a notification here on this bottom right hand corner. And in fact the information down the bottom is showing the status of the team. So Chaka does have a team. She's got 5 courses herself, but her team have got 46. They've completed 8, 4 of which she's completed herself, and her team are 17% through the assigned courses, or another way of looking at it is they are 83% at risk because they've not completed the training that's required of them, their mandatory training. Up here we also have a league table where we can see that Chaka is in her team is the top learner with 120 points. If she wishes to complete some e-learning, she can now go to her My Learning and launches the e-learning dashboard where her courses are presented to her. Now she could have these courses in 4 different ways. It could be that administrator is assigned a course manually. It may be that the courses have been automatically assigned to her because of her role, so there's a curriculum associated with her job role. It may be that she's part of a designated group within the company, perhaps she's a high performance manager or individual and going through some accelerated learning plan. Or indeed, if it's enabled, she may also go to the catalogue and select a course of her choice. So these are her mandatory courses, and you can see that she's completed this one and the other 2 have yet to be completed. And if I select the food safety, you can see that it's in lessons. So there's a food foundation lesson, there's a cleaning and personal protection lesson, and then there is a quiz. And that you can see that this one is in bolded, that means it's open for use, and the others are not because they are linear. You must do the first lesson, then the second lesson, and then a quiz in order to complete the entire course. Each course does have a quiz. There is a pass mark, and only by passing the course is a certificate issued, and that certificate is then automatically assigned digitally to the individual. If I come to this one, you can see I've been in it before because they're open. I'm going to take a look at it. So this is the Essentials of Cyber Security, and it's given me the option to resume. So what this means is that when viewing the course, for whatever reason I may have stopped, been interrupted, and it's now letting me go back. So it's been bookmarked, and I can continue at the point that I exited the course, or I can start again by selecting it. So I'm going to go and resume and start. Drag it across. Let's open up another screen. Okay, I can extend this to a larger view. I can complete this on any internet enabled device, including a mobile phone. And I simply go through following the on-screen instructions. There's lots of interactivity, and as you go through it, the courses are all written to the standard of the governing authority, whatever that may be. So that could be perhaps the Health and Safety Executive in the case of compliance courses, or it might be the FCA, or it may be perhaps a leading authority in the subject if it's a soft skills item. Once again, we return to the dashboard. You can see up here there's a bell. This is the notifications area. So where there are many ways to communicate within Tempus. There are automated touch points when emails and notifications are issued, when someone completes a course, when they're assigned a task, when they're assigned a course, when they have an activity, and many more. They are pre-programmed and are issued by the system to keep the learner engaged and informed at all times. The administrator can also issue notifications either to a team or to a part of the company or organisation with information. Perhaps they've released something new, maybe there's been some incident that they want to alert people to, maybe there's some maintenance that's planned. So that they can also do that manually, and they come up in this notifications area. And typically, if a notification has been issued, it also has been received in the form of an email to their email address. We can have a look at Chaka ourselves, so I can select that, look at our profile, and what we'll find here is personal information. Interestingly, there is a manager, a talent manager, and a cost centre manager. They may be the same person, or as in this case, they are not. So the versatility of Tempus Talent means that the line manager can be tracked and assigned, but they can also have a talent manager assigned, which might be a coach, internal or external, or a mentor. Likewise, a cost centre manager can be assigned, could be the same person, or it may be that the expenditure for learning development is under the remit perhaps of an HR colleague, and so that can also be tracked and actioned within there. The profile itself obviously can be built manually, or if there is an API with an HR system, then this is automatically created and updated. Chaka can look at the certificates. We saw that on the overview screen in the dashboard, but she can now come in there, find out her grades, and print her certificates if she wishes. Look at the skills that she's accumulated in her talent profile and her qualifications. And also her training history is recorded, and any groups that she's assigned in terms of learning groups. Tempus Talent comes with a e-learning library which can be configured for your company requirements. We have a whole range of courses for both the UK, Northern Ireland, Scotland and Wales, plus EU variants covering mandatory and compliance areas such as health and safety, food and beverage, people management, child safety, governance and cyber security. That concludes this short introduction to Tempus Talent. As you can see, there are a plethora of features and benefits associated with the system. some of which we've covered in this short presentation. For more information, please contact us to arrange a live demonstration.